Live from the X Summit in London, Fuji announced the Fujifilm anticipated X100V at the House of Fuji on February the 4th. Fuji announced two new lenses as well. I'll cover these lenses and then get into the new X100. But by now, there are dozens of camera reviews on YouTube. I did not have advanced access to the X100V. Apparently, Fuji does not consider a channel with 2,000 subscribers significant enough to get an invite. I'm not going to review the X100 like every other channel. I'm not going to get into all the details and specifications. I'm going to review it against the same capabilities I reviewed the X-T3 and the XG200 against. Each camera has different target audiences, and each camera is aimed at different use cases. I'm going to help you decide if this camera is right for you using a heat map that can be applied to any camera. Fuji announced but did not release the GF80 f1.7 and the GF30 f3.5, which are both still under development. The GF80 is the fastest large format lens. It creates a very soft, smooth and dreamy image. The sample images looked amazing. It is designed for outside active shooting. Size and balance is very good. It is a good addition to the lineup. The GF30mm f3.5 is created for landscapes, street photography and portrait shooters. And autofocus is quick. But Fuji did announce a firmware update for the GFX to support pixel shifting technology. This will give the GFX 100 the ability to shoot 400 megapixel images. Think about that, that's huge. But I'm not a big fan of pixel shift technology. For everything to go right, the ground, the camera, everything needs to be stabilized, and there cannot be any movement in the frame from grass or leaves or it just doesn't work out. This is very difficult to accomplish, and it's really only useful in a few situations. But the big announcement was the Fuji X100V. The look and feel is solid, but Fuji has tweaked the camera. It looks better, it feels better. The dials are well laid out. The camera has a great feel to it. It travels well, but none of this is a surprise if you've ever had yourself an X100. Yes, the V looks better. It is refined. The quality is there. The presentation felt like an Apple event. They even talked about how it was machined and discussed the machining process. Fuji gave it a tilting LCD, a feature often criticized by photographers until they get to use it. And sure enough, one of the photographers present at the panel spoke of her experience with the tilt screen. She did not see the point to one until she got to use it. For filmmakers, this is an essential capability, and not as good as the XT200's flip screen. However, this is a great addition to the X100, and it does not take away from the aesthetics. The X100 does not have time-lapse video. And I was corrected on this before, saying it does have time-lapse. And yes, it does have time-lapse for photos. It's still possible to create time-lapse video using photos, but you're going to have to do it with separate software. There are pros and cons with both, though it would have been nice to have this as an internal feature. The X100V takes amazing photos. The new image sensor and lens work together to capture light more effectively out to the corners. But as the X100 has a fixed lens, options are limited for changing the focal length. There are kits available to change the focal length, but this adds weight and takes away from its soul. This camera is not designed for professional photographers or even amateurs that need to change the focal length. Neither the body or the attached lenses have any sort of stabilization. Not a big issue for photographers, but a tripod is required to keep the camera steady for video. Not ideal for run and gun work, but fine where the subject is not in motion. And focus peaking works well for manual focus pulls, but there are no zebras. The X100 does support all the basic frame rates, 24, 25, and 30 frames per second. I never used to consider this a capability until Canon decided in its infinite wisdom to remove it from all its APS-C lineup, and of course add it back later. The X100 is color accurate, producing good results for the ordinary filmmaker and photographer alike. The X100 puts out the same really good video performance. It provides 120 frames per second in 1080, a capability that Canon seems to be holding back on many of its cameras. Yes, I am picking on Canon tonight. Unfortunately, it does not provide 60 frames per second in 4K, but points for providing UHD and DCI 4K. It also provides FHD in 1920 and 2048. And it provides good detail in both modes. Autofocus is good, But until we have a chance to try it out, I'm going to assume that it is only marginally better than the XT3 and still behind Canon and Sony. So who is this camera for? What are the primary use cases? We can clearly see that the 2-year-old XT3 performs better when compared to my capabilities, the capabilities of the ordinary filmmaker. Someone that shoots more video than photos. The X100 is designed for someone that shoots more photos than videos, that doesn't want to mess around with switches and switching out lenses, that wants something that is, well, they prioritize lightweight and compact size over advanced video capabilities. The X100V is capable of 10-bit 422 external, but I ignore this in my review because it adds $1,000 in cost and adds weight, everything that the X100V is not about. I also did not get into the detail about the new X-Trans 26.1 megapixel APS-C sensor. Seeing that this camera does not meet my capabilities, there's really no need to dig a lot deeper. And if your capabilities are similar to mine, being an ordinary filmmaker, consider waiting for the XT4, which will be announced on February the 26th at 0000 hours. That's essentially midnight. Consider this midnight on the 25th as it rolls over. That's when they're going to do their announcement. This is my prediction for the XT4 capabilities against the X100. For the ordinary filmmaker, keep your eye on the XT4 and even consider the XT3 at a discount. Oh, and I almost forgot. The silver X100V will go on sale at the end of February for $1,300. No? Yes, I believe it's $1,300. It will go on sale for $1,300. The black one will be available in March. Can't wait to see what Fuji gives us in the XT4. I'll keep you current on what is happening as soon as the news breaks. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button, then click the bell icon and choose all to get notifications of updates as they come out. And don't hesitate to drop your comments below. I do review all comments and respond to as many of you as I can. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.